Welcome everyone to the lunch break. It's Throwback Thursday, but this is also known as the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E, streaming live on YouTube, courtesy of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, Facebook, FireTV, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. I hope you're doing well out there. And a reminder or a note if you're new to the show, if you have a streaming device, a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, you can just go to BS3Network.com or BS3TVLive.com. Going to talk basketball. Of course, that's my main claim to fame, our main source of fun and entertainment and enjoyment. Miss Wanda, how are you doing? Miss Wanda attended the May 8th Coogs on the Road tour. If she doesn't mind, I hope she types in some comments on how it went Wednesday night, get her thoughts on it. Let's see. Kelvin Sampson, head coach, men's hoops, was there. Willie Fritz, football coach, was there as well as Chris Pesman. And it sounds like Chris Pesman did not take any questions. Go figure. But anyway, I digress on that. There has been, and there is, some Houston Cougars women's basketball news to share. I'll share that as I wait for, hopefully, head coach Johnny Jones from TSU men's hoops will join me momentarily. But until he joins, some ladies hoops news from the women's side at UH. Kateri Poole, 5'8" guard forward. She's defense. Signed with Houston was announced on Monday. Is it Monday? I think that's right, Monday. She started at Ohio State from 2020 to 2022 before transferring to LSU 2022 to December 2023. She played roughly 4 games in the last season and then was dismissed. Not really sure why, but she was dismissed. She appeared in those 4 games. Her average, 5 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists, shooting 37.2% from the floor. And without further ado, I'm going to go to this gentleman who's taken time out of his day. He's been busy. He's a winner. He's got a new contract extension. Head coach Johnny Jones. Coach Jones, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Chris, and yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining me. First, let's talk about the good news. You signed a new contract. Your thoughts on that? And what is it, through 2029?
Yes, I'm just really excited and glad the president and the board and our VP of athletics, Coach Granger, agreed and liked the direction of the program and given us time to continue to push forward as we grow and hopefully do bigger and better things. We've been fortunate to get to the tournament and graduating the young men here in the program. Some great things have happened, but we feel like we've got more to do and have some unfinished business that we would like to continue to get to.
Well, I'll ask you right there, Coach. What is some of that unfinished business that you want to get to?
Well, obviously getting to the tournament, that's been excellent for us, been able to get there. But with the landscape the way that it is now, we feel as though if we can continue recruiting at a certain level, our hope is to certainly get in the tournament and hopefully be that Florida Atlantic at some point that can continue to push through the tournament and have those big games and possibly get to the second round or the second weekend of the NCAA tournament and hopefully farther. But that's our goal. We've been certainly in the play-in game. We've been fortunate enough to win that a couple of years, and we unfortunately lost one of those games. We've had extended play in the CIT, getting to the Final Four one of the years, and that's certainly been fun. But I think that's really prepared us for hopefully getting in and getting our breakthrough in the NCAA tournament to be able to get to a second weekend or farther. But that's our hope, that's our goal, and that's certainly something that motivates us every day that we're sitting in the office talking about recruiting in preparation and building continuing to build this team that our community, our university, and everyone else can be proud of.
Coach, how long have you been at TSU?
I was about to start my 7th season, and it seems like yesterday coming in, and Dr. McClellan being here as the athletic director at the time, having me come in and getting started here in the program. And what an exciting year we had. Wind up winning 24 games that year, the most in the history of the program. And then getting, unfortunately, COVID hit, and then the next year getting into the NCAA tournament, and some great things happening here for the program. But about to start our 7th season, and again, it's always exciting. Thrilled to be here. Love the administration. Love the obviously the people that are here, from the coaches, the professors, and everyone just been on board. So as a basketball coach, having an opportunity to be around these young men every day, and the wonderful staff that I've been able to assemble over the years, it's been good. Couldn't be happier. And it's one of those deals. Every day you wake up and you're excited about heading to your job. It's a good day, and there hadn't been a day that I woke up that wasn't excited about getting here to put our shoulder to the grind and push to move forward and see if some great things can happen and how we can continue to build here at Texas Southern University.
You touched on your staff. You had one of your assistants leave for a head coaching job. So just ask some thoughts and talk about that.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate over the years, and I guess we're fortunate, unfortunate, however you want to see it, because we always feel like when you've got great people in the program, sometimes you want to hold on to them. But I've been an assistant coach before, and my job is to try to help guys continue to elevate and to be able to move and have an opportunity to do great things. And I've had guys since I've been here leave and take other jobs as assistant coaches in other leagues at the end of the day. And it's been great for us. And the latest being Coach Stacy Hollowell getting the head coaching job at UNO. And it's one of those things that's very difficult to do. Sometime leaving from an assistant spot, getting a head coaching job is difficult. And people tell you it depends. I don't care what league you're in at the end of the day. I'm very fortunate to have someone be taken from our system to head a program there, one in the Southland Conference in the University of New Orleans, a good school, a good program. And Coach Hollowell did an excellent job for us the year that he was with us. But we've had other guys in our program that other programs have had an opportunity to try to come in and get after and try to get them to leave. And the guys have stayed because they're excited about where they are and what they're doing and the growth in the program. And other guys have had an opportunity to leave and explore and do things and have success too in other programs. But it says a lot about the university and the state of the program when people feel as though that the program is in such great shape, that great things are happening, that they will come in and our guys are attractive to them. A couple of things don't happen. People don't generally hire from bad programs with people losing, because that's kind of consistent. We've been fortunate enough to win and have enough success that our guys are been really attractive to other programs out there. And they've gone on to have success at those places. And we're hoping the same thing happen with Coach Hollowell as well. But it's not many programs at our level have guys leave from assistant spot. It's hard enough sometimes for head coaches to leave and get jobs, but to have an assistant to be able to pick from your program, I think speaks volumes of Texas Southern University and administration and our department as well.
Have you had a chance to replace them on staff yet?
What we looking to do, and just waiting with an administration, we haven't filled all of our positions, but certainly have a pretty good idea in the direction that we're going to go with their program here. We feel like we've got great guys that are on our staff that have done a tremendous job over the years and have put in their time and put in a lot of energy. And so we'll have one spot that we probably would need to fill, but we're probably going to move guys around within our program and staff who are extremely familiar with it as they continue to grow and for us to do some great things. And we couldn't be more excited really with the group that we have here assembled now. We always feel like we've got a very, very strong group of guys that's working with our players and putting them in the best possible position to be successful at the end of the day. And we feel like we'll do that again and should have something out there with here surely in the next week or so.
It's always a positive, I think, to be able to promote within.
Yeah, no, it's healthy. I think it's healthy for the program, and I think that's one of the reasons guys don't mind coming in at certain levels because they can see that guys are being promoted outside of the program, so to speak, and taking other jobs and getting assistant jobs, whether they go into it and leaving here at one position and then maybe going to be the top assistant in another program in another conference, and at the same time seeing that people who are in the program are being promoted and elevated as well. It gives people a lot of motivation that are sitting out there looking for opportunities, because we do certainly get a lot of calls at the end of the year when we have some movement in our staff of people wanting to come in, join us, really be a part of really what we're doing, because they see those opportunities out there, not necessarily to come here and leave, but to be a part of something positive, effective, and really a part of the winning that have gone on with the tradition here at Texas Southern.
And once again, I'm speaking with Johnny Jones, head coach at TSU men's basketball. Texas Southern, some of y'all on the East Coast think TSU is Tennessee State. That's all over there. It's Texas Southern here in this area. Coach Jones, you also made some signings last few days, so just talk about them. And one of them, a 6'11" young man.
Yep, I tell you, we couldn't be more excited about Uno. He's going to be a tremendous force for us. He's there at Nichols State now, and he's actually from Harlem, New York. And 6'11", 225, and he's one of those guys that have a lot to his game. I think our fans were really going to be excited about his addition because he's one of those guys that's extremely skilled, play out on the floor, can defend around the rim, can run, good passer, good ball handler really for his size, and can stretch the defense with his ability to shoot. He bring an addition to something that we didn't have a year ago or last couple of years, and he have great size. Sometimes we've had big guys, but they probably didn't have the girth or the size to move around, push inside a little bit and defend there in the post, or the size to move guys around from playing on the block area. And he brings that added dimension for a team that's going to be an excitement for us. And I think our fans are going to be pleasantly surprised and excited about his addition really to our team. And
then I know about also Jaylin Jackson-Posey.
Yeah, Jaylin, I tell you, he's at New Mexico State right now. Jaylin's going to be a tremendous addition to our team. I think he's going to be fun for our fans to actually watch. He's more of a combo guard style. He's about 6'2". Jaylin probably about close to probably 200 pounds, big guard. Can post, can shoot. At one point, he was shooting roughly around 50% from the three-point line last year, tailed off maybe a little bit toward the end of the year for him, but and the top defender. And one of the things he talked about throughout the process and while we were recruiting him was how much he loved playing defense. And with our team, been one of maybe the top defensive team in the conference last year, area that we're looking not only be in the top, but continue to improve on that. I think his added dimension to our team, his talent, his desire, how he's motivated on the floor to be a great defender, certainly going to help us, and it's going to help our basketball team. So that's an area that we're excited about, not only his ability to score, knock down threes, and he can get to the rim, get to the basket. He can get to the free throw line as well because he's a high foul count guy because people foul him. because of his aggressiveness of going to the goal. So that's certainly another added dimension to our team that's going to be a huge plus, especially with the guys that we're losing from a year ago, and especially Jonathan Cece, who got into the lane, who got fouled, who was creative off the bounce. We feel like Jaylin Posey is going to bring that added dimension for us as well.
How many open spots do you still have for this coming?
Right now, we have another guy we signed is Alex Anderson as well, and Alex is probably about 6'5", 6'6". He was at Incarnate Word last year, averaged about 11 points. That's where Jonathan Cece went to school as well. Big kid, obviously he's from Memphis. Went to Alabama State 4 years at South Alabama, and he's about 6'5", 6'6", and he's one of those guys can play all over the floor from the 1 to the 4, actually, because of his size and his strength. He's a big guard, can really get in the paint, love playing in the paint area as well, and going to be a good defender for us as well. But with signing those 3 guys, we have 2, I think, scholarships still available to us right now that we can utilize, and so we've got to make sure in using those, it's going to probably be for the best available guy that's out there for us, not any particular position, so to speak. We feel like with the guys that we have returning from last year, because we're looking to see if we got Kenny Hunter back, Grayson Carter, Josh Farmer, who nobody saw last year, is about 6'9", 6'10", who transferred from UT San Antonio from his practices last year. If we can add that into what we're doing this year, he's going to be a pleasant surprise too. And that gives us great length with Grayson Carter at 6'10", probably about 250. You've got Josh Farmer out there at 6'10", and then you talk about Uno 6'11", that's coming in next year. That's going to be great size for us. And you add Kenny Hunter to that bunch, along with Xavier Ball, who played sparingly last year because of injuries. That's going to be great size for us. It's probably going to be our biggest team that we've had across the board since we've been here. So that's going to give us a chance to go out and probably sign the best available players that's going to be able to fit into our team, that's going to give us a chance to make that push, and it's going to give us great depth because of the number of guys we have returning from last year. Certainly lost a great crew with PJ Henry and Jonathan Cece and Deion Stroud. Those were 3 guys that did a lot for us throughout the year last year, and in making plays, especially Deion down the stretch and PJ throughout. And everybody just fell in love with Jonathan Cece last year and becoming a kind of a household name because of his ability to score in a lot of different ways. So our recruiting, we certainly had to put ourselves in position to where we were mindful of guys and filling those spots. And we feel like our coaches have done a great job of identifying guys and doing that.
Coach, the 3 players you signed, did you have relationships with their head coaches at their previous stops, or what's your process in the portal to go after young men who meet your needs for your team?
I'll tell you, it's good to have been around for a little while and understand and knowing coaches knowing the success that we've had with transfers, and not only programs and colleges, but be it AAU coaches or high school coaches that are out there, and families. Know the success that we've had with guys coming in and from programs and fitting into what we're doing and succeeding and having success in our program. And so we are one of those schools that are looked to for those various reasons. And one of the big recruiting tools that we use is making sure that we're able to show kids, young men that have transferred from be it Power 5 schools or wherever, that have come in here and done extremely well, either making all conference team or newcomer of the year, or going on to play overseas and doing exceptionally well and doing some things financially to secure their family's needs and those things. So, and that's what kids are looking for. And what we like to try to make sure that we point to them, this is a great chance, and you've got a chance opportunity. And and we make sure that they understand that they can get there from here. That's usually one of the big questions that guys have. If I come there, but you're in the city of Houston, 7th largest media market in the country. I mean, it's a lot of great things that are happening here in the exposure. So you're not going to be hit. You come here, you play the right way. We play on TV. We get national games. There are great things that happen for us. We're generally in the top of our league. We're playing in a conference tournament at a high level, winning, getting to the NCAA tournament. So if you come here and do the things that you're capable of doing, the exposure and everything's going to be there, and nobody's going to hide you. And some great things can be in store for you at the end of the day. So those are a lot of selling points that we have. But you're certainly right. The makeup of things now, the transfer portal, people being able to come in and play right away, and the grad students, those are things that we have to identify. And my staff have done an excellent job of trying to identify those guys and reaching out to them because of their connections and relationships and things that they have as well, and being able to bring guys to the table. It's been good. But at the same time, some of the guys that we've had that have been assistant coaches here that are no longer here, that are out there, that are coaching guys, and guys have success, they're able to turn around and tell them, I know a great place for you. Things didn't work out here for you, but I know someone that may have the type of system that you may be able to fit into well. And when they have those relationships, it's trust, and they're guided the right way, we wind up with some of those guys as well. So we've been fortunate to win a lot of those battles, and it's all about those relationships at the end of the day with the recruiting with people. And, obviously with this NIL, we have to be as savvy and as tough as we possibly can through these wars that we're in at the end of the day, because of the landscape is forever changing. And it's almost like playing football, but they keep moving the goalposts on us, and it's hard for us to keep up. But we're mindful that that's something that we've got to do if we want to stay as competitive as we need to in this business.
As one of the top HBCUs, how much is NIL an issue? Are you running into it when you are talking to prospective players?
Well, it's certainly a problem. It's an issue. It's not minute. It's not small. It's big at the end of the day, and it's something that we have to continue to try to navigate at the end of the day. But we're in pursuit to try to make sure that we can put ourselves in a positive position at the end of the day, where we can be competitive at the level that we need to be. But again, it's an ongoing process at the end of the day for us. And obviously, just like everything else, when you talk about facilities and amenities and everything that are at other places, and the level, if you're speaking of a high major conferences and those things, and then it kind of trickles down at the end of the day of what they have to their exposure in terms of utilizing it for their NIL reasons at the end of the day. And those things that we have to manage and maneuver around and have an opportunity to compete with. So it's an ongoing process at the end of the day for us, but it is a huge deal, and it's a big pit that we have to make sure we feel, and to be able to compete at a certain level is something that we've got to do. But it's something we're looking forward to. We've got to put our shoulder. Hey, the NCAA came out and the rules are changed. The game has changed. We certainly want to play. We want to be in it. And all we want to know is the rules. And now we're in it. Now we've got to just try and make sure that we find out the best way to go about being able to do that, to put our young men in the best possible position and keep this program in a great positive light at the end of the day. And I don't think that's something that's going away anytime soon. And so we've got to make sure that we're in the midst of it, in the mix of it. And we know that there are folks out there in this great city of Houston that will step up and help us be a player in this new format that they have for NCAA basketball.
You touched on defense, valuing defense being important to you. For folks who have not seen TSU play, describe your style of play.
Well, we love to put a lot of pressure on you. We can extend our defense. We can play full court in pressing, generally in creating havoc to try to create turnovers to get easy scoring opportunities versus our opponent. Our kids love playing that way. A lot of times we can play in our half court setting as well. So we can mix it up. We're not one-dimensional. We'll play in half court at times as well. Defensively, we like to play tough man-to-man defense and trying to, again, create havoc with our against versus our opponent to try to run. And we're a running basketball team, be it off of steals, rebounds, made shots. We're going to get the ball and push it up the floor as quick as possible because we want to score as quick as possible. And at the same time, at the end of the day, we feel like that creates havoc and problems for our opponent. But at the end of the day, it helps our team because it forces us to play more players. The faster you play, the harder you play on both ends of the floor, mean more guys are going to get opportunities. So that helps us get into our bench, utilize our depth that we have. And that's why we like to try to recruit to have a number of players that we can go to. And we feel like if our bench is stronger than our opponent's bench, it's going to give us a chance at the end of the day to be able to win. So defensively is something we certainly like to hold our hat on. And we were with the top team in our league last year on the defensive end, field goal percentages, holding people down point-wise, and at the same time in terms of ability to score from the three-point line. And that's something we want to continue to improve on this coming season.
Coach, how close are you to finalizing your non-conference schedule?
Long way. You know, it's difficult, and that's one of the things that we do on a daily here now, and trying to make sure that we can get our schedule finalized. It's one of the things we take a lot of pride in is when we play non-conference games, regardless of who it is against Power 5 schools, we try to put our best foot forward. And over the years, we've been able to beat top 20 programs. Florida been the latest, but we've been able to go to Baylor and win there, Texas A&M and win. And we've gone out to Oregon. You know, obviously they were top 20 team at the time in the win. So when those kind of things happen, it makes it a little bit more difficult to schedule during non-conference because, one, with the landscape the way that it is now and the transfer market, it's difficult for teams to know exactly who you have coming in, going to be a part of your program, who they have going out, who's not going to be a part of theirs. So we're not one of the schools that they try to schedule early. The later they can schedule, they want to try and go down the list and see if they can get other teams to schedule. And then our schedule usually come together a little bit later, possibly in the summer when things are dwindling down and teams are finishing up their schedule and they've got to play teams. But the problem we have, and it's not necessarily a problem, the teams we wind up getting are top tier teams that are in the top of their conference, and it's not in the middle of their conference or toward the bottom. So it's always a big time challenge for us at the end of the day. It's nothing that we certainly back away from. We look forward to the challenge and look forward to playing. But even those top teams look and wait and see who else they can possibly schedule prior to opening up and giving us contracts and having an opportunity to play against them. So it makes it difficult at the end of the day, but it's certainly something we'll get done. One of the good things we're trying to do, though, is play more home games, something that we haven't been able to do in the past, so our fans can become more familiar with their team prior to conference play. Generally, we're back home after January 1st, which makes it extremely difficult for our fans to really, really get excited about what we're doing, and that's their first time seeing us. Now we're trying to get games in prior to that, developing home and homes schedules with some of our opponents that are out there that our fan base will be familiar with, and have them be able to come out and watch our guys this season early prior to conference play. And we're going to start trying to do that going forward. And we think that's going to even help our fan base, which was really good last year. I mean, we're coming out and looking at all the people in the stands last year was exciting for us. We want to make sure that we can continue to build on that, but we don't want to continue waiting until conference play to allow that to happen. We want to give them a taste early, give them a chance to see their team, the makeup of our team, and as we build going forward. And so about time conference come around, they're really, really excited. Instead of just those first few games, they're really excited about us getting back home.
I'm almost done with you, Coach Jones. Always appreciate you taking time to talk to me. Will TSU be in the the Chris Paul HBCU Challenge again in Vegas?
No. I think we're going to take a break from the tournament out there, which was magnificent. I thought it was great. It was really good for us. We were able to get 2 good games out there. They did an outstanding job of really putting on a great event, bringing 4 teams out to that event, and you get to play 2 games in a great venue out there. They do a great job of taking care of you, feeding you for those 2 days, and it's like teams that. Or probably from conferences or where you have an opportunity to compete, where you wouldn't really get those games normally because nobody's coming to your home to play. You don't have the wherewithal of bringing those teams in for bye games. So you meet on a neutral court like that, and you have an opportunity to play those 2 games. And it's been great for us over the last 2 years. Certainly something I would look to do in the future. Because I think it's an excellent event. We'll take a break from it this year, see about our scheduling, and see again, trying to get more home games. And instead of going out there, it may give us an opportunity to play a couple of those games, at least 1 game at home, and trying to get these home and home series started with other programs and teams that are out there.
All right, Johnny Jones, head coach, Texas Southern men's basketball. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, just looking forward to the season. Appreciate all the support that the Tiger fans have given us. And we promise you that we're going to have a fun-filled team this year, and one that you're going to be extremely proud of. And looking forward to seeing you this coming season. And go Tigers.
Thank you, Coach. You take care.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Johnny Jones, head coach of TSU men's basketball. Always great for him to take time to talk to me. It's the bottom of the hour here on the Houston Roundball Review TakeOver, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. I'm going to play this promo so you get a better idea of what BS3 TV, BS3 Network is all about.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review TakeOver on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. And you're watching the show on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, FireTV, and, of course, Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't have it, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Thank you once again to Johnny Jones, head coach of Texas Southern men's basketball, joining me for the first part of the show. And right before he joined, I had begun talking about some Houston Cougars women's basketball news. So I'll continue that. And thanks to, welcome again to Tony and Miss Wanda and Alan Tran for their comments and participating in the show. But once again, head coach Ronald Hughey, they announced 2 signings. First up, Kateri Poole, 5'8" guard forward, known for her defense, part of the national championship team at LSU. She began her career at Ohio State. She was there from 2020 to 2022. She transferred to LSU, was there 2022, December of 2023. She appeared in 4 games last season before leaving the program. Her career stats, 5 points a game, 2.5 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists per game, shooting 37.2% from the floor. Next signee announcement. The Cougs signed Summer Bostock, 6'1" guard. Yes, 6'1" guard, and she plays some point guard. So point guard, a big point guard for Coach Huey, finally. She transferred from Maryland. She's a redshirt freshman. She appeared in 10 games last season and averaged 1.7 points per game in 4.7 minutes per game. Her junior year, she's a Canadian, Her junior year at King's Christian High School in Canada. She played with Team Canada at the 2021 FIBA U16s. She averaged 27.3 points per game. So she can score at a certain level. We shall see if that scoring translates to Big 12 competition. So Summer Bostock, Kateri Poole are the 2 announcements of official signings. One more young lady has announced her commitment to the Cougs. Has not yet been announced as official signing yet. But Eylia Love, 6'1" guard, transferred from Louisville. She was at Georgia Tech for 3 seasons, 2020 to 2023, before transferring to Louisville last season. Her best year, the 2021-2022 season at Georgia Tech. 31 starts, 10.5 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game. Shot 41.7% from the floor, 40.4% from 3 in 30 minutes a game. However, last season at Louisville, 31 games played, 0 starts, 3.8 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 0.9 assists per game, 45.4% from the floor, 36.4 three-point range in 16.4 minutes per game. She averaged not quite a 3-pointer per game. So the 3-point number was good, 36.4 looks good, but she did not take a lot of them. So she was not a high volume shooter at Louisville. Might be a reason why she decided to transfer. But those are 2 signings, and Miss Love, she has committed, but the signing is not yet official by Houston. So waiting on compliance or whatever, you know how all that paperwork goes, and got to get those I's dotted and those T's crossed. Y'all know how it works. You follow big time athletics. That's how it goes. Next, touch on this little more detail, little different details. This NBA media rights update from John Ourand with Puck. John Ourand is one of the top well-connected people regarding media, sports media information. ESPN and the league, NBA, have agreed on a framework that will see the Disney-owned channel produce NBA games every Wednesday night during the regular season. ESPN will give up the Friday night games that it has been carrying as part of its current deal. This arrangement confirms the industry-wide speculation that ESPN is technically paying more for less. The network's average annual fee will increase from $1.5 billion to around $2.6 billion over the next 11 years. That's Tony M money right there. That's Tony M territory. So they're paying more despite cutting its regular season slate in half. Every season, it will carry the NBA Finals and 1 conference final series. According to sources Amazon has been pushing for a Saturday night window, and that looks likely to happen. As part of its agreement, Amazon will carry the NBA's in-season tournament, laying to rest a talking point in media circles that Netflix might hoover this up. Nope. And the postseason playing games. Amazon will also get the rights to one conference final series every other year and some first and second round playoff rights. Amazon has told the NBA that it will pay an average annual fee of $1.8 billion for those rights over the next 11 years. That's Tran neighborhood money, that $1.8 billion. So the 2.6 is Tony M money. That $1.8 billion is Tran money. And Tran, Summer Bostock, I've heard she's not very athletic, so I'm kind of curious to see how she's going to play in Coach Huey's defensive system. We'll see. Hope it works out. Back to the media rights info. NBC's Pitch has its broadcast network running a regular season game on Sunday nights once its Sunday night football commitment ends in January. It also would secure a package of regular season games for its Peacock streaming service. Per the Wall Street Journal, NBC has committed 2 broadcast primetime windows to NBA games each week, but it is not known whether those 2 windows would be on the same night. For example, say Sunday from 6 to 11 p.m. Eastern, 5 to 10 p.m. Central, or 2 different nights. Let me stop right here. Coach Huey has an open invitation to be on this show, any of my platforms. He knows that. He just needs to return my messages. Y'all know why. I'm very critical of him and his performance. Back to it. Warner Brothers Discovery, WB's Pitch, is similar to its current structure. TNT would initially carry games on Tuesdays during the NFL regular season in order to avoid a conflict with Thursday night football, and then move to Thursdays thereafter. NBC has put in a bid with an average annual value of $2.5 billion over 11 years for its package. Add it up, Miss Wanda, Tran, Tony M, everybody watching on the platforms. 2.5, 2.6, 1.8. Regardless of how that shakes out, the NBA is sitting on a windfall. Truly an amazing deal given the ever-tightening sports media marketplace. And a truly unfathomable accomplishment given the state of the league when David Stern took over a generation ago. The NBA is set to more than double its annual rights haul from $2.7 billion that ESPN and WB currently pay to around $7 billion. That's almost Tillman money right there, right? Isn't Tillman Fertitta worth $8 billion, I think? So go from 2.7 to $7 billion. Wow. Imagine the salaries, the player salaries going forward. Whoa, man, oh man. If I could hoop nowadays, if I could just come back in time now, man, because my defense would get me in the league. But this is for Coug fans. This info, the NIL-driven Las Vegas college basketball event with millions paid to schools is nearly finalized. This is by CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, and Dennis Dodd. This is ironic because, let me see, put my bald head on the screen. Last week, and probably a little bit prior to it, me and a source, we thought it was dead. We thought the Las Vegas NIL event was dead because of some of the questions that I'll read about in the upcoming slides. But the money was kind of funny. Weren't certain of how the money was going to work. Take a sip of a beverage out of my cup. Get you a Roundball Review mug. I think Miss Wanda has a mug. She has every other Houston Roundball Review merch. Bless her heart. She's the queen of the Houston Roundball Review. Excuse me there. Click on that shop button. But back to it. The games will be played in November under the umbrella of an event dubbed the Players Era Festival, which will also include live music and other attractions for fans amid the glitz of the Las Vegas Strip during Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving week, that part I knew about months ago. And in college sports first, the event will also include $1 million NIL payouts for 8 participating schools. What's more, players involved will have future earnings opportunities through long-term NIL contracts, sources told CBS Sports. Alabama, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, and Texas A&M are all on board, sources said. The 8th and final school for the 2024 event is expected to be a Big East school. The Players Era Festival is not being pitched as a one-year happening either. Plans are to double the size of the field, sources told CBS Sports, with 16 teams as a target for 2025 and beyond. Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Michigan, Syracuse, and Virginia have all engaged in discussions about potentially playing in 2025. Sources from a few schools in that group told CBS Sports they anticipate playing in the event if it extends beyond 2024 and continues as planned with 16 teams in 2025. If they opt in, they'd be joined by most, if not eventually all, of the schools playing in 2024. So that means the Cougs will be back in it next season, many of which have already signed up for a 3-year agreement, according to sources. Event organizers are in the final negotiating stages with MGM Resorts International to hold games at any or all 3 of its major venues: T-Mobile Arena, MGM Grand Garden Arena, and Michelob Ultra Arena. The tentative schedule is to play games on November 26, 27, and 29, with Thanksgiving an off day. The 24 format for the 8 teams has not been decided. Organizers are still weighing whether to have a single 8-team tournament bracket or 2 separate 4-team multi-team events. I'm going to shift the slide and come back to myself. It's going to be 2 4-team events because A&M and Alabama are both in the SEC. There are teams in that 7 that are in the same conference. Teams in the same conference cannot participate in the same MTE. So they cannot do a 1-event 8-team tournament. Touched on it last week. Coach Sampson told my colleague Joseph Duarte last Monday or Tuesday that the Cougs would be in a Vegas event and it would be a 4-team MTE. So I think it all ties together. That 4-team MTE will be part of this Players Era Festival. Okay, makes sense? The tournament would be unique in that the NIL collective of each participating school, Lincoln Cougs for the Cougs, would be paid $1 million. Additional significant NIL opportunities, believed to be in the neighborhood of another $1 million, would be awarded exclusively to the winner or winners of the event, depending on the final bracket format. Like I said, I believe it's going to be 2 4-team MTEs. The money would then be distributed to athletes by the collectives. The athletes, while in Las Vegas, would be required to participate in multiple off-the-court activities to earn that NIL money. Signing autographs, visiting hospitals, speaking engagements. You know how it goes. That quid pro quo agreement for NIL money is a key distinction and at the core of the appeal of the festival. Pay for play remains against NCAA rules. However, athletes can be paid for NIL work surrounding the actual games, which is the pitch here. Broadcast rights are yet to be formally secured. The games are expected to be distributed on a streaming service instead of traditional linear TV. And let me stop right there and I'll get back to it. Because most of the current holiday tournaments, the MTEs, already locked in on ESPN and Fox Sports and CBS Sports. So there's not many open slots to be on linear TV. Like the Battle of Atlantis, the Maui, on and on, the event in Portland, etc. The event has come under scrutiny and faced backlash from many in the industry because its emergence poses an existential threat to the traditional November/December MTE television model that's become more prominent in college basketball in the past 15 years. Some schools in the 2024 field reneged on previous deals with other MTEs, inviting further discord. Event organizers have assured all involved that the Players Era Festival will be in line with NCAA rules, sources said. It's a no-brainer for the schools to participate. You're going to get $1 million towards your NIL collective just by being in it, with a chance to get another $1 million if you win the whole thing. Coug fans, Coug alum know. You've heard Coach Sampson say it, Coach Fritz say it. Alvin Franklin said it in my interview with him. NIL is important. It is the most important thing for athletics now going forward. So any opportunity to help to get some money toward your collective without having to ask your donors to spend more money, contribute more money, is a no-brainer. So hopefully I'll be able to be in Vegas for Thanksgiving, and we'll have Tony M, Miss Wanda, Rec 32, Tran. We'll have less Rage Coogs in Vegas for those games. So putting it out there in the universe, let's make that happen. Advertise on this show. Buy merch. Spread the word about this show. Spread the word about the Houston Roundball Review, and let's make that happen. Less Rage Coogs in Vegas. And of course, if you're wondering, if you're curious, if you want to help, email me. Send an email, kgardner@thehrr.com. KGARDNER@THEHRR.com. Let's make it happen. Let's Rage Coogs in Vegas for the Players Era Festival. Last but not least, I'll be wherever the games are, Rex. I'm going to try to be. I've been to 2 of the venues, I think already, but I try to get to all 3 for more than that's Coogs games as well. Boy, I have something in my mind, but I don't want to put it out there. I haven't talked to Smoke about it. Smokey, David Smoke. Last but not least, in the closing moments of today's show, WNBA. Let me get this off the screen here. I'll keep it up there so y'all can be reminded of emailing me. The WNBA plans to commit $50 million over the next 2 years to provide full-time charter flight service for its teams during the season, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert announced Tuesday in a move that addresses years of player safety concerns. Engelbert said in a meeting with sports editors that the league will launch a charter program, quote, as soon as we get planes in places, end quote. She said it's projected to cost around $25 million per year for the next 2 seasons. So that money, that neighborhood is Rex 32 neighborhood. Tran and Tony M are in that billion with a B neighborhood. Rex 32 is in a million neighborhood. That means no more long security lines, bodyguards in public spaces, cramped legroom, or layovers for the professional athletes who have been lobbying for better travel long before Caitlin Clark's celebrity brought newfound interest to the league. The WNBA already had announced plans to once again pay for charter flights for the entire playoffs, as well as for back-to-back games during the upcoming season. The league introduced that program last year, spending about $4 million on charter flights. At the time, Engelbert said the league needed to be in the right financial position to do full-time charter flights. So that is very good news for them, for the players, the coaches, the staffs. Let's see. Yep. Tran, I know a couple of times I've been on 365 Sports with Craig, David, and Paul Catalina toward the end of the season when I was on there talking about the Coogs and the tournament. So, yep, hopefully to continue to establish that and build on that relationship with those guys. It's always a pleasure to be on 365 Sports. But yes, the WNBA has charter flights. I'm wrapping up the show, but also letting people know. Last few days, I've posted comments, some post-game comments from NBA playoffs on the Houston Roundball Review. Some clips from Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, Karl Anthony Towns, Jaylen Brown, head coach. Let's see who I had on. Head coach is not I have had on, but courtesy of NBA media platform that's available to you, to media. So those, I'm trying to do more of that as well as some WNBA content. Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Angel Reese, head coach Teresa Weatherspoon. So the Cougs men's hoops college basketball season is done right now, in terms of games. Rockets are done, but the content here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel is not done. So thank you to all those new subscribers. I've started gaining subscribers just the last few days. Gaining more viewers. Last week had almost 15,000 viewers last week. Thanks to Ant-Man. Folks love Ant-Man. I think it was 65,000 in April. So 15,000 last week. So thank you to everyone for keeping up with the Houston Roundball Review. Click on that bell so you receive notifications when new content is posted here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Rex32. I had comments from Camila Cardoso as well. That interview, comments from her posted. She's out about 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder injury, unfortunately. But WNBA season is up almost here. The season begins on May 14th. They have a new deal with Ion. Friday nights on WNBA, they'll have a pregame show. I think a postgame show, too, on Ion channels across the country for their 43 games throughout the WNBA season, starting, I think, next weekend, next Friday. So WNBA, they're doing their part to help promote and grow the game. It would be great if Tillman hopped on board and brought a team to Houston. Well, whatever. Let's keep up alive on that. So it touched on a lot of things. Thank you to Johnny Jones once again, head coach TSU, joining me. Houston Cougars women's basketball announced 2 signings, 1 commitment. Got NIL Vegas event, more details, as well as the NBA media rights deal, more details. But as always, wrapping it up. Thank you to everyone for your time, comments, questions, remember this about the Houston Roundball Review. And again, click that shop button or the $, make a contribution. But since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.